Hi everyone, welcome to Real Science Challenge. I'm Ken Louie, science teacher and talking head. Talking about science education and broadcasting from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. This is episode 86. And on this channel, I've spoken a lot about standards-based grading, or SBG, and even shared tips on how I integrated it into my classroom. And I think SBG is a better way of assessing learning because it focuses on mastery of skills and not just regurgitation of textbook knowledge. But do students actually feel the same way? Is SBG, as communicated to parents in BC, accomplishing its goals? You know, I thought I'd ask my students. Now, this wasn't an easy thing to do because it puts me in a vulnerable position because I haven't asked students to assess my practices in a while. But in the end, I thought it'd be better to know what students thought so that I can do a better job addressing discrepancies between how I see SBG and what the students experience. And you know what? The results are awesome. So this is going to be in color. It's in black and white, but we're going to go back there. I'm going to show you this in color. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to share all that, the results in the survey, in a second. But before I continue, handouts for this episode are available at realsciencechallenge.com/EP86, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You ready? Let's head back there. All right, welcome back. The basis of my survey was some publications created by the BC government explaining the change in the curriculum from traditional grading to assessment-based grading, but also the whole discussion about bringing up skills. And it's not about the knowledge anymore, but about what we can do with it, the critical thinking. And some of these pamphlets, some of the things you see in front of you were pamphlets that were designed and distributed to parents to communicate the goals behind some of these changes. And so what I did was I took some of these pamphlets and highlighted some of the goals that were there. Goals like the change in the new curriculum should build your child's communication, thinking, problem solving, and social skills. Okay, the change to new curriculum and the use of standards-based grading is going to help make learning the focus and not the comparison between peers. This change to standards-based grading and proficiency scales should also let you, the parent, know what your child still needs to work on, and also some of their strengths, what they're good at, and what they need to work on, of course, right? So I took those goals that were published in these pamphlets, and I created a survey, okay? So basically, the survey had a whole bunch of statements that students had to either agree or disagree with. For example, agree or disagree, standards-based grading has helped me, the student, grow in thinking critically, communicating, solving problems, and using knowledge in different contexts. You either strongly disagree, slightly agree, or strongly agree. And I had a whole bunch of about 9 statements, but I want to share 3 of those with you that were pertinent, basically related to the 3 goals that I highlighted before. All right, so here are the results. All right, so results for number 1. All right, so it says standards-based grading has helped me grow in thinking critically, communicating, solving problems, and using knowledge in different contexts. Now, green and yellow mean slightly agree, strongly agree, and red and blue mean disagree. All right, so here's what it said. Now, I asked 2 other teachers if I can poll their class. And these are 2 teachers that I respect highly because they are doing SBG in a way that I kind of like to look up to or set as the gold standard that I pull ideas from and discuss with. So these 2 other teachers were able to lend me their classes so I can survey them. But regardless, I'm not going to tell you which class is whose, but needless to say, the grade 9s that were surveyed, overwhelmingly, 60-something% felt that standards-based grading was helping them grow, okay? Same thing with the grade 10s. Almost 70%, roughly 70% of students felt that, yes, standards-based grading was helping them grow in thinking, right? And about 50% of the grade 12s felt this way as well. So I would say that, yeah, goal achieved in this context, right? But wait, one of the classes that was polled, which happened to the grade 9 honors classes, and these are kids who are really motivated, they want to get ahead. So the honors classes accelerates
their learning for them? They get grade 9 and grade 10 knowledge crammed into 1 year. These students didn't feel this way. They felt that standards-based grading really didn't make them grow critically or as critical and creative thinkers. They just felt the same, which is an interesting outlier, because I wonder if it's not being communicated to them that this is what's going on in standards-based grading, or if in fact they're not being assessed that way. Then in fact, they're just being assessed in the same old way using content-based tests, and therefore this change to a new assessment model is missing the mark. So I'm wondering what's going on there. Is it a communication thing, or is it an actual pen and paper test thing? Okay. Let's take a look at our next set of results. This is whether standards-based grading and proficiency scales has helped me, the student, identify where I am in my learning and what I need to work on. Okay, again, one of those goals that was highlighted. And this is what was said. Okay, again, 55% or more. Grade 12s had 55%, grade 9s and 10s had even more. They felt that, yes, SBG and proficiency scales did identify what they were good at and what they need to work on. So again, I think this is goal achieved. But wait, right? There, again, that grade 9 honors class, again, an outlier. About less than 30% of them felt that SBG really helped them identify what they need to work on and what they were good at. So again, question, is this a communication issue? And that we're not telling them that, hey, this is what we're doing. These are the skills that you need to assess, that I am assessing and that we're trying to build. Or is it more of a test issue where it was like the test just doesn't match up with the goals? Okay, we're still using traditional tests. I don't know. Okay, but something's going on there. Right. And finally, the last one, this SBG makes learning the focus rather than the comparison with others. Am I focused on my own learning, or am I focused on comparing with others? Right. And this is what was said. Yeah, this time, not so apparent. The grade 9s, about 50% said, yeah, I don't compare as much. Whereas 50% say, no, I still compare. It's still a focus of mine. The grade 12s, less than 50% agree with this statement. So more than 50% say that they're still comparing. And this makes sense because the grade 12s, well, it's all about comparison, right? They're trying to get into post-secondary. Whereas the grade 10s, this teacher really communicated to them that, so almost 70% of students felt that, yeah, I am focused on my learning now. So this grade 10 class seems to be communicated to them quite well. So I wonder what the secret sauce there is. So I guess, is it goal achieved or goal achieved? Question mark. Because, not a lot of classes would agree with this. And going back to the 9 honors class, yeah, like less than 15% of students felt that learning was the focus. They were still hyper focused on comparing with each other. So again, I don't know where the discrepancy is. Maybe it's the change in learning and how we value learning. That's not such a competitive thing anymore, but really it's an inside growth mentality that we have to focus on now with just assessment and how we look at learning. But the communication needs to be there. Our change has to be there, making sure our tests match up with what our goals are. And so what are the big lessons from this? Well, I've said it time and again, feedback. Feedback communication is very important, right? Making sure that we get our tests back quickly, that we're giving feedback through assignments as frequently as possible, and really hammering that this is the focus, okay? Growth, learning, all right? And building skills, critical thinking, this is the focus, all right? Another lesson that we can pull away from this is that we're all in different parts of our journey. Between teacher 1, 2, and 3, all doing SBG together, all been doing it for a while. As you can see, even amongst the students, even the students don't all feel the same way. So it's okay. We're all in the growth process together. It's okay that we're not pros yet, but the point is that we get this chance to talk to each other, to learn from each other, and to grow together. And this will just ultimately help the kids. That's it for this episode. If you have any feedback, I would love feedback. Can you give me feedback by either smashing the like or subscribe button below or leaving a comment? Once again, handouts are available at realsciencechallenge.com/EP86. Thanks for watching. Now let's talk science education again soon.